Do you dance for your supper? Hi, I'm Brian Pombo. Welcome back to Brian J. Pombo Live. Today I'm going to bring up a very unlikely topic that you wouldn't probably think of getting, and that is a little bit of entertainment and an old entertainer by the name of Andy Kaufman. This was a book that was put out in the year 99, and I bought it that year. This was the year I was working in a bookstore, Barnes & Noble to be specific, and so I got a really good discount on books, and a huge part of my collection came from that period of my life. And this was a book I saw I knew I had to get because I was so interested in this character back then. Even though he had been dead for a good 10 or more years at that point. Probably 15 years at that point when this book was written. So Andy Kaufman, for those of you who don't know, was an actor, and he was also mainly known by people who are his biggest fans as a avant-garde performer. So his style of performance was very strange. He would always do these really absurd characters and situations on stage that always left you thinking, is he acting? Is it real? Which part's real? How am I supposed to be feeling here? Where am I supposed to laugh? There was no joke and punchline. The whole thing was the punchline, and you're not really sure if the joke was on you or vice versa. He's a very strange actor. If you ever get to see any of his old performances, you can go on YouTube and look them up. You could see his Mighty Mouse performance is one of the most common ones, where he just sits there and lip syncs to an old record of the Mighty Mouse cartoon theme. And that's it. I mean, that is the routine, is him sitting there and lip syncing and then taking a break and taking a drink of water. It's just crazy. It's absurd. It's the type of thing where you have to think, okay, what's the deal here? And that's who Andy Kaufman was. This was written by his best friend, and it's actually a very excellent book if you're interested in entertainment or studying the history of entertainment, especially during the 1970s. This is a very interesting read. It was a life-changing thing for me because at the time I was studying comedy and looking to become a comedian or comedic actor. And there was something of a folk hero in Andy Kaufman. And I think it was mainly because he came at it from a perspective of being a provocateur. And there's a strange attraction to that, and I noticed it when I was very young, that there's an attraction to being the provocateur, especially from stage, because as a stage person, whether you're doing stand-up routines, whether you're doing acting, whether you're doing improvisation, you're there putting on a show, and you're expecting a reaction in return. So the reaction is laughter, the reaction is oohs and ahs, the reaction is clapping and a standing ovation. You know, that's what you're after. You're after that. You're after, if you're doing any form of play work or anything like that, you're expecting a great critique in the newspaper the next day. And so there gets to be this love-hate relationship between the performer and the audience. The audience oftentimes doesn't realize that that this is going on, but performers understand it pretty deeply. If they sit back and are a little bit introspective, they realize that oftentimes there's a love-hate relationship going on there. And I'm going to tell you how this ties into your business, okay? The same thing occurs with our customers, in a sense. And you notice this a lot. It becomes much more distinct if you work one-on-one with customers. So if you're working one-on-one, you as the business owner or the person running the business, at any point when you are working one-on-one, that there's a feeling like you have to perform. You have to put on a little song and dance. Salespeople understand this like nobody else, that you've got to put something on for everybody. Otherwise, you don't get the end result that you're after, which is a check, which is somebody joining, which is somebody, you know, you're expecting to get something out of your performance. And here's what's wrong with it. What's wrong with it is, first, your attitude, and your attitude that you bring into it is all wrong if you find yourself resenting the customer or resenting the prospective customer or prospective client or prospective partner. If you're resenting them, you're doing it all wrong, and you're doing it with the wrong attitude. You're expecting to give to get, as opposed to looking at the other person on a very level playing field and saying, I've got something here. I'd like to tell you about it, but I want to see if it fits where you're coming from. And starting there and making it about them. If you make it about them, then they've got to take what you have from you, as opposed to you having to basically take revenge on them to try and get them to react before you react, which is what Kaufman was doing. He basically was looking to get an emotional reaction from the audience so that he had a certain amount of control. I'm not sure if you can hear my baby crying in the background. If not, this will be awkward to bring up. My baby is crying in the background. Don't worry, my wife's with him. It's okay, and I'll be tending to him as soon as we're done here, but I want to finish my point. The thing about owning a business and working with the customer is you have to see it from their perspective first. If you can put them first, if you're so confident in what you have, then you could set that aside and put them first and see if they fit what you have versus you trying to shove what you have down their throat. This is very prevalent in a one-on-one relationship, if you know that. But it is also very prevalent if you're talking about speaking to them at a distance over media, over advertising, over any way that you're communicating with your customer. And this is a little bit deeper, and it takes a little bit of something that you got to pay attention to. And if you're hiring out all your advertising and all your marketing, it's something you really have to get on, because those people have especially if they're outside of your company, they may not have any sense of relationship or any sense of where that person's coming from. But the person who can put the end customer, the end client, the end person that you're looking to get money from, the person that can put that person first is the person that's going to win in the long run. You can build trust, and with that trust, you have a long-term relationship, and there's no end to where you can go. No end to how much you can sell to them or offer to them, because that trust is built and it'll last as long as you stick with it and you always put them first in the conversation. Hopefully that makes sense to you. We go into a whole bunch of topics like these. We deal with the principles, the strategies, and the tactics that help you with your business. You can find out more over at brianjpombo.com. Right now we have an offer for the Amazon Proof Strategies session that you can take a part in if you'd like to learn how to make your business completely Amazon proof, meaning not only Amazon, but any form of competition, to keep them completely out of your business and make them a non-issue with your business, having zero competition, if you can imagine that. All it takes is sitting down for, a half an hour to an hour, sitting down with me, and we can actually map it out for your business. Go check that out. That's brianjpombo.com/Amazon. And like I said, you can watch all the older episodes going all the way back to last year and beyond over at brianjpombo.com. Hey, you have a great night. In the meantime, get out there and let the magic happen.